From Washington, here is the news in VOA Special English. President Obama has nominated former Senator Chuck Hagel to be America's next defense secretary. The president also nominated anti-terrorism advisor John Brennan to head the United States Central Intelligence Agency. Mr. Obama called the 66-year-old Chuck Hagel the leader that our troops deserve. He also said the Republican from Nebraska represents bipartisan tradition. Mr. Hagel served in the Vietnam War and was critical of the American operation in Iraq. President Obama praised spy chief nominee John Brennan for leading the effort against al-Qaeda. The Senate will hold confirmation hearings on both nominations. American Secretary of State Hillary Clinton returned to work Monday after treatment for a blood clot. She spent 3 nights in a New York hospital last week after doctors found the clot in her head. The State Department released a photograph that showed Ms. Clinton meeting with assistant secretaries Monday. Later this week, Secretary Clinton will be meeting with several visiting foreign officials, including Afghan President Hamid Karzai. Mr. Karzai is making the visit for talks about his country's future. The Afghan leader is expected to meet with President Obama and other American officials during his 3-day visit. American and Afghan officials are debating how many American troops will remain in Afghanistan after 2014. That is the year when all international combat forces are expected to leave the country. About 68,000 American troops are in Afghanistan now. American military leaders want to keep 15,000 troops in the area after 2014 for training and anti-terrorism efforts. While in the United States, Mr. Karzai is also expected to visit the head of the Afghan Intelligence Service. Asadullah Khalid is being treated at an American hospital for wounds suffered in a suicide attack last month in Kabul. Some of the largest American banks have agreed to pay $8.5 billion to settle claims of wrongdoing. The banks were accused of abuse in their efforts to repossess homes from their financially troubled owners. The banks reportedly did not take the required steps when dealing with home foreclosure cases. 10 banks agreed to the settlement Monday with the country's central bank and other federal agencies. Among the banks involved are Bank of America, Citibank, and J.P. Morgan Chase. Bahrain's top court has confirmed prison sentences given to 13 dissidents charged with plotting a government overthrow in 2011. The 13 are all members of the opposition. Most of them are also members of Bahrain's Shiite majority. Sunnis rule Bahrain's government. 8 of those found guilty were sentenced to life in prison. The others received terms of 5 to 15 years. The dissidents helped launch large anti-government demonstrations in February of 2011. The protesters demanded democratic reforms. They also call for what they believe is discrimination by Bahrain's Sunni rulers against Shiites. A Pakistani man has told a federal court in New York that he is not guilty of terrorism charges against him. Abid Nasir is accused of plotting to bomb the New York City subway system. He is also accused of plotting a bomb attack in the British city of Manchester. Britain surrendered Mr. Nasir to the United States last week. Another man has begun to serve a term of life in prison in connection with the same New York bomb plot. All legal action against 5 men suspected in a gang rape in India will be closed to the public. The judge hearing the case, Namrita Agarwal, made the announcement in New Delhi Monday. She cleared the courtroom after lawyers, reporters, and others made too much noise. The judge said the next hearing in the case will be on January 10th. The 5 men and a teenage suspect are accused of attacking and raping a 23-year-old student on December 16th. She died in a Singapore hospital on December 29th. Indian officials have brought murder, rape, and kidnapping charges against the men. Protesters across the country have called for stronger rape laws, police reforms, and improved treatment of women. Rebels in the Central African Republic have moved closer to the capital, Bangui. The country's Minister for Territorial Administration told VOA that rebel fighters are north of the city, about 12 kilometers from the town of Damara. Several hundred African troops are deployed in that town to prevent the rebels from reaching Bangui. A leader of a group in the rebel alliance, Salika, confirmed the minister's report. He also said the rebels defended themselves against an attack by Chadian troops supporting the CAR government. Salika has seized about 12 communities since launching an offensive December 10th. Rebels, opposition leaders, and government officials are supposed to begin peace talks Tuesday in Gabon. President John Dramani Mahama of Ghana has been sworn in for a new term. President Mahama won 50.7% of the vote in elections last month. He defeated Nana Akufo-Addo, the candidate of the New Patriotic Party. International observers say the election was free and fair. Mr. Mahama came to power last July after President John Atta Mills died.